Hey, what's up, YouTube? I've been making a lot of videos lately because I've been having to get out all of my lawn equipment and start getting it ready for the cutting season. Really, the cutting season's already started, really, but anyway, I've made some videos on my self-propelled mower over there, and just to show you all a little update on that. I don't know if you can see right there where I've now got that shut-off valve, and back over this way is the fuel filter is now on that, and so I don't have to worry about that carburetor gumming up and having all those issues anymore. So anyway, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about this. This is kind of like a I guess you could say a review video. I've had this for about a year now. I made a video on this. What it was I had purchased a mower just like this. Obviously the motor looked a little bit different, but I had purchased a mower just like this for $10 off of Craigslist, and pulled the motor off and put it on there. Now, originally, I did not have this. This is a walk-behind weed trimmer, and originally this was not the one I had. The one I had was a Murray weed trimmer, and when I went to go fix it up and go buy parts for it at my local salvage yard, mower salvage yard, this Craftsman was laying in the salvage yard, and so I started looking at it, and it pretty much had all the parts I needed, and so I asked the gentleman if I could just take the whole thing. And at that point in time, it did have an engine on it, had a Briggs & Stratton on it, pretty much similar to this one right here. However, it was missing pretty much all the parts off of the top end. It did still have parts of the carburetor. It was missing the top of the motor. I'm sorry, the plastic parts off the top. It was missing the gas tank. It was missing the recoil start and all of that. And so, and I just didn't have the parts to get it back up and going. Plus, it was locked up. And so, anyway, so I started comparing the two weed trimmers. I had, again, like I said, I had this one and I had the Murray, and I started figuring out that it was going to be better to fix up this Craftsman than it was the Murray. And then I bought that mower, and was needing another engine for this, and so obviously, like I said, you can see, Weed Eater, and it says Weed Eater right there, but obviously you can read right there, this is not Weed Eater, this is Craftsman. So anyway, so I mounted the motor on there, and yes, I had to make a few modifications. One of the big things about this, because it's a mower or weed trimmer, or came off of a mower, as compared to, let's say, like a generator or I don't know, other applications. So pressure washer. Those engines come with either come with a steel flywheel, or they come with a steel weight right above the pulley to as like a balancer, a harmonic balancer for the engine, and also works as like a flywheel for centrifugal weight. So the engine will run smooth and all of that. And so and I didn't have any of that, and so I had to make a few modifications. One of the things is, because you'll see on this engine here, the only thing that comes up from the engine is the engine brake. Goes up to the handle here, everybody knows this, and then the pull rope. And now this only has one lever. However, that lever does not do the same as that lever over there. This lever engages the cutting head on this weed trimmer. And I could not have two levers on this engine, or on this weed trimmer. And so I had to remove, one of the modifications I had to do was I had to remove the, let's see if I can get this in the video, in the camera here. I had to remove the, that's what these bolt holes are for right here. I had to remove the engine brake and all of that to get this motor to, so I didn't have to worry about that. And which brought up another problem, which was shutting it off. But there was also another issue besides shutting it off, and the other issue is that without the weight of the blade underneath there spinning, I know a lot of people say you can't start these engines without a blade under it, but this engine, and I'm going to start it up here in a minute, but this engine I was able to start it. The problem with it was it would not maintain a constant idle. It would surge up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And what I came to the realization of is that the engine would pick up speed and it would hit that plastic governor that blows off of the flywheel there, and it would slow it down. And it would slow it down, then the fin would shut back close and it would gain speed again. And so, long story short, I had to remove that plastic governor and install a manual throttle control right there, which is what that is. That's a manual throttle control. And and not only does that control the throttle so I can maintain a steady throttle, but also when I shove it all the way down, which is backwards on here, y'all will see this turtle right here and a rabbit right there, so it's backwards. It actually shuts it off in the rabbit position. But anyway, when I shove it all the way down, it shuts the engine off, shuts off the fuel to it, and so that's how I shut it off now. And so anyway, and it's worked out great. It's worked out perfect. As a matter of fact, I just had it out. I don't know if you can see that grass out there in my driveway out there. It's worked out great. It's a good, perfect little weed trimmer. Works perfect for what I need it for. I have noticed that, you know, I can't take down like small saplings or anything like that, but pretty tall grass or big grass or whatever, really like to use it along like the driveway there and along my fence, where the grass and the weeds and stuff tend to get a little bit higher than most. It works out pretty good, and it's been pretty handy. Another modification I had to do to it because these have tabs. I don't know if you can see because of the grass, but these have a tab where you slide that string into, holds the string. Well, it broke the tab off of this side, so you can see this hose clamp, and so I had to modify that so that hose clamp would fit in there and hold that string. And so, but it seems to be working out pretty good. I can tell you that I am not able to use like small weak string or anything like that, and none of that stuff. I can't use the smaller weak string, but then again, you don't want to use that. And so so anyway, let me get this camera set up and see if I can get a good shot on it, and I'm going to start it up for you guys and let you see. You know, I did figure out also that it's better to, because again it's missing the blade, so it's better to start it with the cutting head engaged than without. I can start it, but it's better to start it with the head engaged than without. And so you'll see me squeeze that, but really it's just to, again, like I said, it's the cutting head. It's not the engine brake or nothing. So hold on a second here and let me get it set up. Okay guys, here we go. And there you go, guys. It has worked out to be quite the valuable tool for me, and works out pretty good for me out here in the country where I live, and really appreciate having it around. And one thing I will say, which I'm sure you noticed just now, that I had to give up, one of the things I had to give up was because when this motor was on the mower deck that it came off of, which is long gone now, but when it was on that mower deck, it was a one puller. I could just pull that rope and it would start up the first time, which you saw just now when I started up. It took, what, 3 or 4 times before it finally started. And again, that has to do with that weight. What it is like I said, it's like a centrifugal weight, and so when that blade is spinning, it kind of helps. It's like an assistant, like assisting you in starting your mower, because it's not just you pulling the rope, but it's also the weight of that blade spinning underneath that assists you in getting that motor started. Well, when you remove that weight, all that it's going off of is the pull of that rope. And so so now it takes anywhere from 2 to 4 times now for me to jerk the rope. But again, like I said, once it's going, and once I got it out there in the yard and working with it, it's an awesome tool. And I know that, again, a lot of people have these things and don't really know what to do as far as when the motor goes bad, and it can be a pain in the you-know-what. If that motor goes out, I don't know what I'm going to do after that, but because I've got another engine. See if I can show y'all right back there. That's for a project on a later day. What that is it's an overhead valve, and when I try to pull start it without the blade underneath it, it gets to the compression stroke and jerks the rope out of my hand. And so I think that's the saving grace on this, is that it's a flathead. Although I've seen other videos where guys are pulling those, starting those overhead valves without a blade, but I couldn't do it. When I tried to start it, jerked the rope out of my hand and hurt my hand too. So, but this, which you just saw just now, this flathead works out pretty good. And anyway, so I just wanted to shoot this video. I don't know if I rambled or whatever, but this is just kind of like a year review of this Craftsman weed trimmer, and I highly suggest and hope you guys would go back in my channel and look at the first video I made on this. It's actually, in that video, you'll see the mower deck that I took that engine off of. And so anyway, guys, so yeah, I would encourage you, some of the stuff that you think is junk and you're going to throw it away, I would encourage you not to. It could be a very good possibility that you're able to put a few dollars into it and get it to going and be a valuable tool like this is for me. So you guys take care, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless.